This is episode 44 of the Hybrid Coaching Podcast, and I'm super excited for this episode because I get to talk to my wife, which I get to do every day, but now you guys all get to listen. So, very excited. We're going to have a little discussion. We hit a couple topics such as the Glasgow Major, CrossFit Open workouts, how we did, little recap, and some surprises. So, let's make hybrid fitness work for you. This is episode 44 of the Hybrid Coaching Podcast, and I am very excited because I have a super special guest today. My most favoritist person in the world, my wife.
Am I your most favorite person in the world? Or I think you said favoritist.
Yes. So we are actually in the same room today. So if you guys hear an echo, I apologize. I will try to clean it up in the post edit that I do. We are on a limited time frame, and Lauren is not going to be on video today. She's a little indisposed, but she's able to talk, and I'm very excited.
You make it sound so bad. Is there an echo?
No,
Okay.
not an echo that I hear. So I'll listen back to it and see if there is one.
I was just, guys, I don't have proper clothing on, so I can't be on video.
All right. So topics that we're going to talk about today. The last place we left off was the CrossFit Open 25.1. That was last week. JK and I talked about our goals for hitting it. And then Open 25.2 was released yesterday. So we'll talk about that. We've both already done it. It was a repeat workout as well from 2022. We'll talk a little bit about racing frequency, as well as hitting up Glasgow, which is coming up, and then Houston, which is an Elite 15 doubles race. And if we get to it at the end, we'll talk about strides. So those little sprints we do after our easy runs and sometimes other times, but why do we do them? But that's what's on the docket today. We might go out of order. We'll see where it takes us. To start with, I just wanted to talk about the CrossFit Open 25.1. Very exciting. Like we said in our last episode, it was a great workout for HYROX athletes, and I think that was shown in the leaderboard.
Let's go, Mira.
Think
No, I'm gonna cut you off for a second. She smashed it, and if you guys haven't gone and watched her video because it's available to go see, first of all, her reps are flawless, and I don't even know how she moved as efficiently and as fast as she did, even though I saw it. Like, it was literally, if you could crown a queen of open workouts, it is Mira.
I love that you said that. I think I said on the last episode that I thought Miriam was going to win it, and she did. I think she won it by 15 reps over the next woman, and I thought she was going to win it overall, men and women. She came 2 reps short of that.
I think she could have done it. I think she could have squeezed it out. If she went head to head against Colton, I think she would have beat him.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm biased.
Yeah. She also, I saw her post that said she did it 3 times in the weekend, as well as race. Would she race Frankfurt or something?
I think she was in Poland.
Poland, yeah.
Yeah.
She did the workout.
Doing that workout 3 times, I was so sore after the one time I did it. And I think it's just because, like, I don't do that many reps of a certain movement in workouts anymore. Like, that was a lot of reps. And the burpees were fine. It was just the hang clean and jerks that really kind of knocked me out upper body wise for a couple days, or at least to be proficient.
Yeah. And what's crazy to me is I think she won, if I remember, I think I just said 14 or 15 reps, but I'm just going to look it up really fast. She won by 14 reps. Yeah. And I think she said the first time she did it, she got like 348, which was, but her goal was 350. So that's why she repeated it. And then she like said that she beat her score, but she could do better. So she did it again a third time. But 348 would have won for the women, which means all three of her scores would have been first place in the open.
So, I mean, that's super cool, but what I'm even more excited for is one of the ways to qualify for the games this year is to take top 10 in the open overall. And I have a feeling she smashed this week too, and I'm sure she'll smash next week as well, which means I think Miriam's gonna get that like first invite to the games.
I think she can. I was looking that up, so I heard that on a podcast that they could do top 10, but I didn't see that in the rules. But there's only 19 spots through the in affiliate semifinals
Man,
available.
guys, I'm less than 10 minutes into this. I'm already lying to you. Sorry.
That's I think I told you that, and that was something that like I heard on a podcast, and so I was like, oh yeah, that's how they did it because it was a CrossFit podcast. But I haven't found that in the rules. But if you go look at the in affiliate semifinals, it only shows 19 spots.
Yeah, but they've always said that like ignorance is not an excuse for not obeying the law. So I still lied to you guys. Sorry.
Uh, so in the last episode, I said my goal was to get through or into the 24s. And I actually was able to do that. I did this workout twice. And the first time I had Lily running around me, um, all over, jumping over my dumbbell for me. It was actually quite fun. It actually gave me a sense of just not being too concerned about the workout, and give me something else to focus on. And I got 6 reps in the 27 burpees. I was able to repeat it without her, and I ended up doing all 27 burpees. And actually, I was trying to sprint to finish those 27 burpees. I ended up doing 28 burpees because I just kept going instead of stopping and picking up the dumbbell.
Well, in case anybody's wondering, I would say that Lily probably got 33 reps.
Yeah, she did. She was all over. She was even doing the lunges, and that was really fun. And my co-host here had an amazing score as well. So I'm going to talk her up 314 reps, which means she got into the round of 30 and was 26 reps in there.
Yeah, I think one of the things that took me by surprise the most was like the lack of comfortability with the movement. And I whiffed my first rep on my left arm. Like I went to go clean and jerk it and it didn't go. Like I like completely mistimed the jerk part because I was trying to like make it a single pop, like from shoulder to overhead, and I mistimed the pop on my first one. I was like, oh man, I should have practiced that.
We're out of practice with these movements for sure. And that goes along with 25.2. But before we move on to 25.2, I just want to point out some HYROX athletes that either posted their score or told me their score. And one is Bo Wills. Uh, he posted his score on Instagram, and um, he signed up for the Open. He's on the leaderboard, but he didn't post his score on the leaderboard. But he got 301 reps.
That's
Um,
moving.
yeah,
Because he's a taller athlete too, and so it's just like range of motion. It just takes longer to do those reps.
yeah. So that's super good for him. Additionally, Alondra Greenlee, who took fourth place at the World Championships in 2022, ironically to Miriam, because Miriam passed her at the wall balls with, at the time, Miriam was the only one doing unbroken wall balls. Alondra Greenlee got 303 reps.
That's a lot too. And I know we're not on it yet, but I saw that she posted her score for this week as well, and she finished, which is a feat in itself.
I didn't
To be able to get through all the muscle ups and then the rest of the reps to complete the workout.
I did not know she posted her score for this one, so I'm going to have that ready when we go into this next piece. Additionally, Dylan Scott posted his score on Instagram, and he said he got 272 reps, which would be 13 of the dumbbell clean and jerks in the 27s.
That's still moving. Because Dylan also, like Bo, is a tall athlete.
Yep. Uh, all right. So moving on to the second week of the Open. Um, 25.2 is a repeat workout. 22.3 was the previous one. So in the year 2022, Lauren was pregnant for the Open. And I believe when you did this one, you didn't do any bar muscle ups.
See, I, for whatever reason, like convinced myself that I had done this workout and that I submitted a score. And then I realized I didn't do the open in 2022. So
Yep.
I don't even know. I don't know if I even started the workout. I for sure didn't do any muscle ups. I know that.
Well, I know that you did. Do you remember the workout that was like 2022.1? I think it was. It was like three wall walks and then like some box jump
Yeah,
overs.
yeah, I remember that one. I
You,
just don't know if I did the one with all of the like hanging gymnastics work.
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember. But this one in 2022, I think I did it twice that weekend as well. Um, but my best score that I had on the leaderboard from that year was 10 minutes and 50 seconds. Um, I think in 2022 at that time, I was about 20 pounds heavier than I am right now. But I was a little bit more practice and I'd been lifting more leading up to the open.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was there, like, because we still went to Friday Night Lights to go be a part of C2X's community event. So I definitely watched you do it.
Yeah. So 25.2, if anybody doesn't know, it's a four-time workout. You do 21 pull-ups, 42 double unders, 21 thrusters at 95 pounds for men, 65 for women. And then you do 18 chest to bar pull-ups, 36 double unders, and 18 thrusters at a heavier weight, which is 115 for men, 75 pounds for women. And then you do 15 bar muscle ups, 30 double unders, and 15 thrusters at 135 for men, 85 pounds for women. So that conversion, I don't know off the top of my head. I think it's 61 kilos is the final weight for men, and I believe it's 38 or something like that, 39, 38 kilos for women at the final weight. Um, and we went and both did this on Thursday, right after it was released, the like maybe 7 hours after it was released, because we had to get it in because Lauren's flying over to Glasgow. So we went over to the old gym that we actually met at and where we used to coach. And Lauren went first, and I got to see her strategy and knew after watching her, like, I need to break this up more than I was planning on. So I'm glad I got to see her go.
Now, do you say that because you feel like I should have broken it up more, or do you feel like I broke it up appropriately?
No, I thought you did it really smart. And when before I was like, okay, so Lauren's, I figured you were going to go unbroken until the bar muscle ups and then do like just small sets or singles on those and then unbroken thrusters. When I saw that you broke the chest to bars, I was like, ooh, maybe I should start breaking right away.
Yeah, so for me, I know if I blow out my pull on those chest to bars, there's like I would have to take such a long break in between my muscle ups, and like the time saved in the chest to bars would like triple in time used once I got to the muscle ups.
Yeah. And just for everybody listening, I don't think Lauren and I have done bar muscle ups since last year in the open.
So
Uh,
I realized that's not true either because we did one of those buttery episodes with Heber and Mars, and they maybe do bar muscle ups in that too, and that was like
oh yeah, you had to do 9 bar muscle ups
sometime in the fall.
or 5 bar muscle ups. I didn't do the bar muscle ups though.
Yeah, so I got like a couple reps practice in the fall. No big deal.
Yeah, I think you did like what, a total of five. You did one before the episode and four in the episode or something.
Something like that.
So, so we ended up doing the workout. Lauren, if I remember right, the way you split it up was you went unbroken on the pull-ups for the 21s, you went unbroken on the thrusters for 21s, and then you did like eight or nine of the 18 chest to bars. Seven. You did seven of the 18 chest to bars as butterfly. And then when you jump back up, you started kipping the final 11 of them.
Yeah, that was not for strategy. Actually, if I were to do strategy, I would have done butterfly for all of them because then it's using a slightly different muscle group for my chest to bars versus my muscle ups, and I would have had like a little bit more juice for the muscle ups. But once I got up for that first set of the chest to bars, I realized how out of practice and how like I was like slightly mistiming my pop for the kip, which was making the pull a little bit harder. And I just didn't think that that was worth the energy to push through butterfly the rest of it. So I think a better strategy would be to butterfly all the way through just for to separate the muscle groups that are being used. But
Good.
for time wise, I had to just switch over to kipping.
That's good. And then I think you did one break on the middle set of thrusters, and then you went all singles on your bar muscle ups.
Yeah, I tried to keep that break as short as possible. But like one, I'm not skilled enough to be like connecting those safely right now. And two, I'm gonna allow myself to be at least a little bit less sore by not having that negative from the down on the muscle up. So I'm saving myself these next couple days. Hopefully, it made a difference in doing the singles.
Yeah. And then you broke, no, you didn't break on the final set of thrusters. You went
N-
unbroken.
no, so I broke the middle set strategically to be able to hit my muscle ups a little bit quicker. Um, but like with only 15 reps left to go on that last set, yeah, I wasn't, I didn't want to put it down.
Right. So your finish time, your final was 8 minutes and 49 seconds. It's already up on the leaderboard, um, which, I mean, you don't have a previous 2022 time. So, I mean, I think that's really good, especially for somebody that did singles on their bar muscle ups.
No, I'm actually really happy with it because going into it, I wasn't sure I would be able to do a bar muscle up, let alone do 15 of them. And even doing 15, I thought, okay, like what's the time cap of this workout? And the time cap's 12 minutes. And I was like, I don't even know if I can do 15 bar muscle ups in 12 minutes. So, no, I am pleasantly surprised and very giddy about being able to finish it and timely finish it,
Yeah.
for me at least.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I got to watch, I got to judge. Super cool watching Lauren anytime she competes. As for me, I ended up doing a, what was it? 11 minutes and 9 seconds. I broke up purposefully my pull ups into 13 and 8. I broke up the thrusters, the first set of thrusters into 13 and 8. I broke up the chest to bars. I did butterfly for 10, and then I did butterfly for 4, and then I kipped for 4. Uh, and then I broke up the thrusters on that round, I think, into 12 and 6. I think I only dropped once. And then bar muscle ups, I went 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1.
It
Yeah.
was an interesting breakup.
Yeah. I was actually going to do my goal in that was actually to do three sets of three and then three sets of two. Um, but when I went up for that third set to do three, I knew there was no way I was getting my third one. So I kept it to two. And then when I got to 12, I was like, if I just do quick singles, I can get it. And my singles actually were not quick. So
Now, how did you feel? Did you talk about your thrusters? Did I miss that?
No, I
Your
just
last
said
set of
I
thrusters.
broke
Okay.
each set up.
How did you break your last setup?
My last set, I had planned on doing 9-6 is what I was thinking I could do. Uh, when I started going, I think I did 8 or 9. I did 8 or 9, and it was wobbling too much for my liking. So I just took the break there and I was like, all right, I'm going to rest a little bit extra and I'll finish this. But then I got it up and told myself I can do 3 quick ones right when I started pulling it. And so I just did 3 quick ones, and that was 12. And that was right at the time that I finished in 2022. So when I was at my finished my 12th thruster, I passed the 1050 mark. So I still had one more set to do, and I picked it up for that last set of three, right around 11 minutes.
Now, how did you feel when you finished the workout?
Oh, my quads were done. So one of the things that I did notice, and I wish after my first set of bar muscle ups, if I would have just been practicing like once a month some bar muscle ups, when I came down after my first set of three, I hit the ground and I thought I was going to buckle. I thought my quads were going to give out and I was going to buckle to the ground coming off the pull up bar. And so I thought to myself, like, I have to do multiple sets of these because if I go down to singles, I can't do any thrusters after this because I was getting these like electric shocks through my quads every time I dropped off the pull up bar.
I don't think I noticed that, but I put a pad underneath me, so I had like a shock absorber.
Yeah, I came down pretty hard most of the time. So I know we don't have a ton of time. So we're gonna move on real quick. I'm gonna go out of order, and then we can do the coaching topics at the end if we get to both of them. I just want to talk about HYROX Glasgow. It's coming up. It's actually in 5 days. Lauren flies out actually here in about 14 hours. She leaves. I think that's wrong, actually. 15 hours. She'll be gone. She'll be on her way to Glasgow. Uh, so just looking at the lineups, I'm not going to ask you because I don't want to answer either who I think's going to win or get the qualifying spot because I know there's 4 women on the hybrid engine that are currently unqualified for Worlds that are lining up, aiming for those 3 qualifying spots. Um, but I think each of them, Zara, if you're,
How many athletes do we have total racing? That
so we have 6 women and 2 men.
6 women, 2 men.
And of those 6 women and 2 men, which is 8 total. 4 of them are qualified for Worlds, including yourself, and then 4 that are not. But I'm really excited for Maria, who's finally getting a chance to race in one of the majors. She's actually been the first person out for both Hong Kong and Las Vegas. So she finally gets into this one.
I was
And
so stoked when I found out she was getting in. I really wish she could have done the Vegas one. Like she was there. I think she would have smashed.
yeah,
But I'm so stoked she gets to do this one.
yeah. Maria definitely is very excited for her first opportunity this season to be able to do this. And then Zara's lining up as well, and so is Vivian Tafudo and Jade Skillen. So I think all of them have really good shots to get those qualifying spots, and they have fantastic abilities. Other people in this race, though, so the people that already have their qualifiers that are racing are you and Linda Meyer, Joanna Whitestrick, and Kate Davey. And Lucy Proctor. Sorry. So there's 5 women who already have a qualifying spot. So essentially, it's possible that it could roll down to eighth place.
But in order for that to happen, the 5 people that are already qualified would have to take top 5.
Well, they'd have to be in the top 7, yeah.
Right. Okay.
So the other people, though, there's 10 women vying for those spots. So besides the 4 that we coached that we just mentioned, also vying for spots are Viola Oberlander, Seka Arning, Jana Liebenstedt, Camilla Massa, Jess Petro, and Tanya Strohschneider.
This is a stacked race.
Yeah. And it's interesting, like when you see people who get the roll downs and get their opportunities, like what happened to Paleo in Chicago last year when they had like, if you place top five, you get an auto qualifier to all the rest of the majors. Tanya comes from a very similar background. She was an Olympic level triathlete.
Oh, I think she's more than prepared to come in and absolutely crush it. I'm excited to see a new face in there. Like it's always fun being able to see like the people we've gotten to know over the years, but it's also really exciting to see somebody new come in. And I think she's going to surprise a lot of people. I think she's going to do really well.
Yep, I would agree with that. And actually, you led me into one of the questions that I was going to bring up, and that was of the nine qualifiers on both the men and women's side so far, so 18 qualifiers this year, only two of them are new faces from last season's qualifiers, and that would be Joanna and Lucy Proctor. Um, those are the only two new faces. All of the men that have qualified for the World Championships so far were already qualified last year.
I think there's a lot to say of the experience and not the racing experience because there's plenty of people that come in with like racing experience from other sports, but I don't think it's as widely known kind of how many meetings we have to go to when we're at these events and like how much media is surrounding it and well your downtime that you think you're going to have is not actually the amount of downtime that you get. So it's hard to be really careful about knowing when to rest and relax when you don't realize that you're not going to be able to at points you were expecting to. So I think like once you kind of get one of those under your belt, you have a little bit better understanding of how like the flow of things is going to go. But then again, like there's other people that come in and smash it on their first one. Like Lucy qualified on her first one, and Joanna qualified on her first one. So I mean, obviously, it's 100% possible, and these people are showing that they are capable of it. But it's hard. It's really hard to come in and not know how much time you're actually going to have to prepare for something that you've physically been preparing for probably months.
Yeah. And I actually think that's super valuable information for anybody new that's trying to break into the Elite 15 and actually is able to get there. Like that right there, that you don't know about the process and everything going into these productions. Um, because, there are times where like you guys warm up, but then they tell you, hey, you're leaving the warm up area. We're going to go line you up to do the walkout. And then they say, oh, actually, we're delayed by 10 minutes, but you have to wait here. So all of a sudden you warm up and then you have 15 or more minutes until the race starts.
Or the anxiety of like they are calling people up to like start going to the stage to be called out, and they're like, "Oh wait, let's do one last interview," and I'm like, "But I see everybody lining up. They're gonna be waiting on me."
So I'm going to make a little note to myself here in case you want to cut this out. But do you want to tell everybody where you were when they started calling names out in Amsterdam?
You don't have to cut it out. So in Amsterdam, there was like a secret bathroom in the back that didn't have a line because it was like along the race course. So you couldn't get to it unless you were on the race course. And before we started, a bunch of the women went to the one that was quote unquote the secret bathroom. I was the last one to go. So I got in and everybody was leaving. And these bathrooms, it wasn't like a normal stall where you kind of have that opening at the bottom and you could crawl out. Well, it was a full door and I got stuck in there. And I started hearing them call out the names for like the first of the 15 elite women to go. And I couldn't get out of the bathroom. Um, I ended up just like jiggling and jiggling and jiggling the door handle, and it finally came undone. But I had to kind of book it to the front line. But maybe that was the last stride I really needed before the race started.
Well, the sprint to the line up so you could get out there, but also you were worrying before that race about what shoes you were going to wear, and that kind of made it
Oh yeah, I
the
didn't have
choice for
time to switch back into the ones that I was used to wearing because I like they were calling me.
yeah. So
So I had to wear the ones that were on my feet, which ended up working out amazingly. I'm glad that situation happened.
yep. So that's the women's race for Glasgow. The men's race for Glasgow. There's a great lineup here. You got Hunter, Ryan Kent, Michael Sandback, James Kelly, Paleo Fernandez, Ryan Rich. Oh, they had that typo. Yannick Japla, Tim
Wait, no, we
Vinesh,
need to correct that for him. Rich Ryan.
yep, Sean Noble, Bo Wills, Jonathan Wynn, Affin Humphreys, Jake Dearden, Graham Holiday, and Thomas Tierdvik. Some big names there.
Yeah, that's also a really stacked field.
Yep. And so people already qualified for Worlds on the men's side include Hunter McIntyre, James Kelly, Paleo Fernandez, Tim Vinesh, Bo Wills, and Graham Holiday. So there's 6 men already qualified. So this could roll down to ninth place.
Oh wow. Do you think it will roll down to ninth place?
Uh, I don't know because the men that middle group, not just the middle group, like the whole men's field, they make one mistake and they could go from possibly second to 11th place. Uh,
Right. I think like often the men's field, like the time gap from first to 15th is really, really small. So their margin of error is pretty tiny. Like not that we don't all have to be on our game, but I think the men currently really need to be on their game because little mistakes are very costly.
yeah. So on the men's side of the people we coach, James Kelly and Bo Wills are both already qualified for Worlds. So on this one, could ask you if you wanted to, who do you think will qualify on the men's side? Who is going to get those 3 spots?
Honestly, I would be just picking out of a hat because I don't know. I feel like there's just too many names that are capable of getting it that there's no way I'd be able to pick it and feel confident in my answer.
Yeah,
And I know that sounds political, but I just don't. I don't know.
yeah. Um, I think I would go with my usual co-host, Elite 15 doubles partner Jake Dearden, and I think John Wynn is ready now. I think he's gonna get one of these spots. But otherwise, like this is such a good field, such a good lineup. I don't know if I could pick them, and but those guys right there, I think are definitely better, high non-zero chances of claiming at least 2 of those 3 spots.
I mean, I'd agree, but I also think that there's lots of names on there that could, I don't even say upset is not even the right word because they would be just as deserving.
Oh yeah. One thing I was really surprised on actually is Sean Noble. Like, he accepted this invite and he's gonna race. I mean, I thought after Vegas, I thought he broke his ankle, dislocated it, tore ligaments. Like it looked so bad on his post, and to see
Have
him
you been
line up.
following his journey? Do we know his health status, like how he's doing? Is he able to run right now?
So somebody that I talked to that knows him said that he told them that he's going to be 80%, but he's still going to go out there and give it everything he's got.
I don't even know what to say about that. Like, because I saw the picture of how bad it was. Like, I can't imagine. And I've twisted my ankle before, and like just a twist, not what he did. And it took me a really long time to recover from that.
Yeah, I agree. It's just going to be a good race. But then going from Houston, or sorry, from Glasgow, there's four people flying from Glasgow that I know of, doing the old flight the next early morning. You guys have to be at the airport at 4 a.m. These races are late in the evening. The men's race doesn't even get over until usually 8 p.m. And then if you get selected for drug testing. You're usually not out of there until at minimum 9:30. Sometimes it goes as late as like 11 o'clock. You can be at the venue. And then you guys have got to be at the airport around 4 a.m. for a 6 a.m. flight.
Right. And as much as it sounds like, oh, we're not going to get any sleep, I personally am not able to sleep the night after a race anyway. So I think this early flight the next day is the best option because now instead of like not sleeping that night and then flying the next day and not sleeping 2 nights in a row, at least now I probably wasn't going to sleep that night anyway. And I'm getting the travel done during that time that I probably wasn't going to be able to sleep.
Yeah. I think it's great. And then I get to meet you with Lily in Houston and the Elite 15 doubles. You guys get a race Saturday, which I'm also very excited for. I don't have the lineup for that yet, but I really do want to put something out next week, you guys. I know this is going to be a shorter episode, so I'm hoping to get 2 episodes out next week. Something just kind of recapping Glasgow as well as some coaching tips, followed by the Elite 15 doubles stuff that I can get while I'm in
I don't
Houston.
think the lineup for that is going to be announced until next week anyway.
Yeah, probably Wednesday next week is when we'll be able to see it. Maybe Tuesday. Um, but some teams that I've heard of, obviously you and Lauren Griffith, and then another team that's going to be there is Joanna, who's also flying from Glasgow, is teaming up with Tia Claire Toomey, and Katie Simonson is teaming up with Chris Verglosky. Um, and I think Tara Jackson is going to be there with a teammate. I don't know who.
I think Tara's teaming up with Bridget, but I thought they were going to Miami.
Oh, are they? I
Maybe
could
they're doing
definitely
both. I don't
I could
know.
definitely have that wrong then. Um, but yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of good teams there, I think. And on the men's side, I know that Jake Dearden and James Kelly are going to be racing alongside Marcus Wallace and Dawson Miller. They're also going to be racing. I don't, I mean, I think that's going to be a good race between all of them. Marcus and Dawson are really strong. They're not coming off a transatlantic flight. They're not coming off a very high level Elite 15 individual race. So I think it's really going to be pushed. And then I believe Dylan, I don't know who his partner is. Well, he sent me who his partner is, but I don't know his partner. So um, I don't know what I can say about him. Uh, and then I am actually racing
I
with,
was gonna say, are you gonna let anybody know that you're doing it?
yes, I told JK that we are going to lap him several times. And I'm going to smack him on the ass every time I pass him.
Hmm.
Don't
So
know.
what's the punishment if that doesn't happen?
It's probably not going to happen. I told him I'm going to lead him out the sleds, but also
Do you
probably
really
not going
think
to
that's a good
happen.
idea?
No, no, not at all. Um, so we'll see. You never know what happens, but Mark Dofer and I will be there to clean up in case anybody does drop off. And we don't have any unrealistic aspirations of actually qualifying, but it could fall into our lap, so we're gonna try. Uh,
Um, so how many teams did you just mention right there?
4 men's teams and 3 women's teams, but
Um,
I'm sure.
I didn't know Chris and Katie were teaming up. That's a really good team.
Yeah, I don't. I feel bad because I don't know who else is in there because there's no lineup. So
They
I'm
won't, yeah, they don't make it accessible until like the week before.
yeah.
So
So
we only know who's told us that they're doing it.
right. Uh, so anyway, that is about all the time we have tonight. So we didn't get to our coaching topics, but guys, I promise I'll throw in coaching topics on the next episode. I was very excited to talk to my wife on this one. I was going to record a solo one, and she told me I could talk to her, and I am super happy and thankful. So I'm never going to pass that up. Um, but it is very late here, and we are going to bed soon. So Thank you for listening. If you want to find Lauren, you can find her in a couple different places. Lauren, you want to tell them?
No, you can tell.
Oh, okay. You can find Lauren on Instagram at Lauren_E_weeks, or you can find both of us at the Hybrid Engine, or you can find me also on Instagram at a Wild Parasini. And we also have the Hybrid Engine on YouTube. My usual co-host is James Kelly. You could find him on Instagram at jk.jameskelly.
And coming up, you might be able to find us in one other place that we'll probably be able to let you know about next week.
Yeah, this episode is being going to be released over the weekend before Glasgow, and we're hoping to put something out there uh, before Glasgow. So within the next couple days. So go ahead and follow the Hybrid Engine on Instagram if because we'll definitely announce it on there, and follow Lauren on Instagram, and we'll put it on there as well. Thank you for listening, guys. Have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Hybrid Coaching Podcast. If you'd like to get in contact with James Kelly to seek out some coaching or for general questions and inquiries, please go to Instagram and find him at jk.jameskelly. Or you can find him and Georgie Vesley on YouTube at James Kelly and Georgie Vesley. If you'd like to contact Anthony or seek out programming or coaching questions from the Hybrid Engine, please go to Instagram at the Hybrid Engine or at a Wild Parasini. Thank you again. Have a great day.